Hello, I'm Pastor Matthew Verhoeg, and I'd like to explain Luke chapter 4, 5 to 12, the second and third temptations of Christ in 3 minutes. The text reads, "And the devil took him up and showed him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time, and said to him, 'To you I will give all this authority and their glory, for it has been delivered to me, and I will give it to whom I will. If then you will worship me, it all will be yours.' And Jesus answered him, 'It is written, you shall worship the Lord your God, and him only shall you serve.'" This first temptation is a temptation to political power. All the world of sinful men is in the power of Satan. Jesus calls him the ruler of this world. But then again, Satan is overselling his position, because the earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Even though Satan claims dominion, nothing is really his. Nothing is his to give. Politics, worldly power, it's all fleeting, it's all temporary. Jesus sees through this and reminds us that God is the only one that we can serve. But boy, this is a temptation that has snared many Christians, trading the spiritual promises of God for worldly power, money, and fame. How quickly can we desert God in order to rule a little piece of this passing world? We must remember with Christ not to idolize any of these things, but only to worship the Lord our God. The text goes on to read, "And he took him to Jerusalem and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, 'If you are the Son of God, throw yourself down from here. For it is written, he will command his angels concerning you to guard you, and on their hands they will bear you up, lest you strike your foot against a stone.' And Jesus answered him, 'It is said, you shall not put the Lord your God to the test.'" Now Satan here both misuses scripture and sets up a false premise in his argument. Satan says, if Jesus is truly the Son of God, he must prove it by being saved by God. The false premise is that God would never allow suffering to his Messiah. Satan tries to prove this by quoting Psalm 91, which is a psalm that promises absolute protection for those that love God. Now we know that Jesus is not going to be saved from all harm. Jesus did not come to the world to be saved, but to save the world, not by power, but by dying for their sins on the cross. Now, Psalm 91 is true, but it's only true for Jesus after his resurrection, not before. And when we read a text like Psalm 91 and all the promises of God, we need to know that they're only fully applied in eternity and not right now as we experience a sinful world. Jesus defeats this last temptation by quoting Deuteronomy again. "You shall not put the Lord your God to the test." We are to live by faith in God's promises, but never put God to a false test. Thank you.